Hey, today I wanted to chat about setting some goals for our music because I think one of the biggest problems we have is feeling overwhelmed. Like there's all these things we should be doing and we haven't done any of them. We haven't posted enough this week. We haven't got any extra gigs and we kind of feel weighed down by this expectation we put on ourselves internally. So what we're going to do today is get some of those expectations out externally in the form of this SMART goal that I'm going to chat about. And that's going to give us a way to, one, move forward towards those goals, but two, be able to look back, see that we did achieve those goals, and then that kind of helps with this momentum and creativity because we can see that we are actually moving forward. But it can be a difficult thing to do, so we're going to talk through that today. Super practical episode. We're actually going to be able to actually implement some things that will help you with your music and get where you want to go. So setting SMART goals. That's what we'll be talking about today. Hey, I'm Craig from the .8 studio and I'm talking to musicians who want to become music artists, to kind of live out your passion, to live out your dream as being a music artist in whatever that looks like. It's different for everybody, but what is the same for everybody is that desire to do it and to go to the next level. So that's what this channel is all about. That's what this video is all about. And we're actually going to be talking about goals today. So I'm going to help you set some goals for your music to kind of get out of your brain, get out of your heart, this sort of desire you've got to do music and set some really actionable steps that you can take starting today for the next, I reckon we set goals for 3 months today. So where do we want to be in 3 months' time? We're going to chat about this method called SMART goals, which is an acronym. I'm going to explain it all in a second, but it's better than just saying, I want to achieve this, because you actually go through and figure out how you're actually going to achieve that. And it's super, super helpful. So what I've got for you, and I reckon you should download this to go along with me because it'd be great if you just start this today. If you watch this video and go, oh, that's an awesome idea, I'll do that one day, fail. You probably won't, or so much of your music journey is going to elapse before you get this done. So I would encourage you, if you've got a chance, do this today. So I've got a download, which is just this SMART goal system with blank space in there, so you can just fill out what you want to do. So you can grab that. There's a link below. If you're on the podcast, it's .8.com, so DOTTEDEIGHT.com/artist, and that takes you to a page with all my resources. You can download this goal, this guide that will help you get your goal, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, SMART goal template. So we're going to chat through that in a minute. I thought I'd just quickly talk about why goals are important. I mean, obviously, we've heard this everywhere. If we've been through school, we know about setting goals, New Year's resolutions. It's kind of like, it's a bit fuddy-duddy, I know, to set a goal. Not something that we kind of actively do, but it is super helpful for a couple of reasons. The first one is it sets out a direction that we can walk in. So because the music industry and where we want to be as an artist is so multifaceted, there's so many ways you can do it. You can hit the festival gigs, or you can go streams, or you can go YouTube, or you can get local gigs or build a fan base. It's big and it's broad. So if we set these goals, then we've got a direction that we can walk in. Okay, this is the way I'm going to get to those 10,000 streams. This is the way I'm going to get to those festival gigs. This is the way I'm going to get into the studio with my new song. So we can kind of forge a direction to walk in by setting a goal rather than just hoping that it all falls into place at some point. The second thing, and I reckon which is super important and something that's undervalued with goal setting, is that sense of achievement when you do tick it off the list. So if you set a 3-month goal to get 10,000 streams and then you walk towards that, when you actually be able to tick that, you can look back and say, I am walking forward, I am moving forward. And that gets rid of a whole lot of overwhelm when we're wondering whether we're doing enough. We're wondering if everything that we're doing is worth it. If we're ticking boxes and scoring goals, then we can see, yeah, I am actually moving forward, I am achieving, and this all just isn't a waste of time actually going forward. So I think it's really, really good for that. The other thing is that it just gives us small wins, which is encouraging and motivating as an artist. If you go, yes, I did that. Yes, I did that. So if you set kind of small goals, you get those small wins and you just keep moving forward. If the only win you're kind of chasing is that big banner win, so maybe like that headline show or that international tour or those, playing at the Arias or whatever it is, if that's the goal, then and you never have any wins until you get there. So setting these small goals on the way gives us small wins, which gives us motivation and allows us to keep being creative and keep walking with a sense of being able to do it, And like I've touched on before, the last thing is it actually gets rid of that overwhelm. So if you can get out, I don't know if you've ever done this before. I do it often in the studio here. If I've got a bunch of tasks, I just start thinking about all the things I've got to do, all the things I want to achieve in the studio, and it does kind of overwhelm me. But if I write it all down and say, I've got to do this, 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 and this, it's out of my head and it's on a bit of paper. I'm no longer worrying about it. I'm no longer thinking about it and kind of dwelling on it. I could just go, okay, I just need to do that and then that and then that and then that. That's achievable. I can do that. So it does get rid of this overwhelm. So setting goals is super good for that. So in saying that, let's chat about this SMART goal method. If you've heard of it before, it's just an acronym. So SMART is 5 different questions, 5 different aspects of the goal. So if you can go through those, it makes it into an achievable, sort of chaseable goal. So it's a super good method. Like I said, you can download the PDF that I've got, which is just this SMART goal template, and you can just fill in the answers on there. That would be super, super helpful for you, so it's in front of you. And I'm going to say it again, do it today, because if you do it later, you probably won't do it. So do it now. So I would set these goals. You can set them for, you can do a SMART goal for every little tiny thing you want to do, or you can start with a big, like just a bigger goal. So I think today, do at least one of these goals. And I reckon let's set it for something like 3 months down the track. So what do you want to do in 3 months down the track? A quarter of a year, 90 days. What's the goal that you want to achieve? So first of all, it's important to set a date. When do you want to achieve as a goal by? The next thing is just really simply and really broadly, what do you want to achieve with this goal? What is the thing that you want to do? So let's just say this is get a single out. Let's say this is get a new single out. You've got 3 months, you want to get a new single out. All right, so that's the broad goal that we're going to use as an example here. That's simple. The first question, just simple as that. What is the goal? I want to get a single out. When is it due? 3 months. So if you can see, that's normally how we set goals, which is very broad. So what have you got to do to get that? You don't know. So that's going to be a bit overwhelming, because it doesn't actually help you to take the first step or the second step. You can only see the last step and the goalpost. So the next part of this is, what is the benefit of this goal? So what's the benefit of achieving the goal that you see? So if you want to get a single out in the next 3 months, what's the benefit? That you've got some online presence. You've got an opportunity to start building a fan base because people are connecting with your song. You can start to maybe make some revenue off Spotify streams. You might be able to get more gigs because people have heard this song, they like the sound of it, they want you to get in the venue because they think that might bring across some people into the venue. So start to list the things that you will achieve by this goal. And this will help you to know whether it's worth chasing. So if you kind of can't come up with any benefits of achieving this goal, then maybe you could put your time into a more effective goal for your music. So first question, what is your goal? Second, what are the benefits of achieving this goal? So then from here, we want to make it SMART. So SMART is an acronym. So it stands for specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. So there's questions within each of those that we're going to answer. So at a deeper level, what exactly is this doing for your music journey? So when you get a single out, what exactly is that doing? It's similar to the question before, but at its deepest level. So maybe there's a second layer. So you want to get a single out to grow a fan base, but maybe at a deeper level, you really desire to be a music artist. You really want this to be who you are. You don't want to work a day job anymore. You want to get to the point where you are a recognized music artist. So maybe at a surface level, you want to get a single out and start to build a fan base. But at a deeper level, what is the goal specific to? It's about you fulfilling your desire to be a music artist, for example. So we can kind of dive a bit deep and be really specific about what this goal is doing for your music journey. The next one is measurable. So how will you know when you've achieved this goal? So if you've kind of got a lofty goal, like I want to be a professional musician, I want to be a recognized music artist. So how do you know when you've achieved that? So that measurement is up to you, but it's important to put in like, how will you know when you've achieved it? So what is a measurement? And I think for getting a single out in 3 months, that's pretty easy. You'll know when you've achieved this if you have a single out in 3 months. But maybe does that mean single recorded? Does that mean single on Spotify? Does that mean single on the radio? So maybe you could just talk about or think about what the actual measurement is. So you've achieved this goal when you have done what? The next one is actionable. Is this goal actionable? So what are the next steps and what are the steps that you need to take to actually make this goal happen? Or are there steps that you can take? So this can trip you up if your goal's like super lofty, like I want to be a professional musician. So what do you actually need to do now to make that happen? or I want to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. What's the action that you've got to take to that? So if your goal doesn't have a specific action that you need to do, then it's more of a dream than a goal. So write down what the actionable step is. What is the things that you actually have to do to achieve this goal? So first you've got to maybe write the song. You've got to contact the studio. You've got to record the song. So there's a few kind of actionable steps, and that's going to separate this from being a dream to being a goal that you can actually achieve. The next one is realistic. Is what you want actually achievable within your means where you are right now? So if you had a lofty dream, like I say lofty dream, I don't mean that as in you shouldn't have those. I just mean it's big. It's a dream that you want to get to at some point, but maybe not in the next 3 months. So maybe you want to get those 1 million streams, or you want to travel around with the festival around the whole country, or do an international festival, or something like that. Is that realistic for you to achieve right now? So are there action steps you can put in place right now to make that goal realistic? And if it's not realistic, it doesn't mean it can never happen, but maybe there's a goal before that you can do that is realistic, that you can actually achieve, that will build towards that bigger thing. So if you're looking for 1 million streams, is that realistic for you to actually be able to action those things into place? Maybe not, but are there some things that you can do to maybe get 2,000 streams? Are there some marketing strategies and whatever that you can put in to achieve that and make that an actual realistic goal? So if you get to this point and you're finding that it's not actually realistic, then this is where you can just tweak it. Just make it a smaller goal so that it is realistic for you to achieve. And the last thing is time bound. Do you have a deadline, and is it possible to get that happening within your deadline? If we don't have deadlines and we just say it's a goal to record a single and we just leave that open, then that's where that overwhelm is going to come in. You're thinking, I'm not achieving it. I wanted to do that, but I haven't done it. So this is the problem with a lot of our New Year's resolutions, right? We say we want to do this and this and this, but then because we've got the whole year to do that, we don't really make it happen. So what would be more effective is to say, all right, well, if we're starting this on January 1st, by the end of March, I want to have done this and this and this. So that little bit of time pressure, just to make it time bound, to give yourself a deadline, gives you an opportunity to achieve it. And if it's a goal that isn't deadlineable, it's going to be a difficult goal to achieve, because it's going to be hard to walk towards a goal that could happen one day. Does that make sense? So running your goal through these 5 questions, these 5 SMART things. So let me just look at these again. Specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. So if your goal can fit in that, then it's a SMART goal and it's something that you can do. So this differs from just a lofty dream goal. This now makes it an achievable, specific goal that you can chase. The next thing is we can go a little bit deeper, and this is on my downloadable PDF as well. This is just an optional added part of it if you want to go a little bit deeper into it. So first question we can ask ourselves is, what things could prevent me from achieving this goal? So, I mean, in our current climate, it could be something like, okay, lockdowns could prevent me from doing it. So if your goal is to get a bunch more gigs, maybe something that could prevent it is these lockdowns that keep kind of happening. If it's recording your single like we've been looking at, maybe something that could prevent it is the studio could be booked up for the next 3 months. Or you might not be able to get the creativity to get the song finished. You might be able to come up with that bridge. You might be able to come up with some chorus. So come up with a few things that could get in your way, just so that you can be aware of them and not just blindsided if that ends up happening. But then we can kind of go and look at alleviating those problems or adjusting the goal so that it's something that is achievable and is not going to be stopped. I mean, obviously there's going to be things that are out of your control and things you aren't going to think about, but just have a little brainstorm. What could prevent this goal from being achieved, or what could prevent you from achieving this goal? The next thing is, are there people that can help you achieve this goal? So who could actually help you do it, hold you accountable? Or maybe if you're recording a single, like, have you got someone that can actually record it for you? Do you know a studio, or do you have a mate that's recorded somewhere before? So who could help you to achieve this goal, and how could they help you to do that? So we don't want to be too reliant on other people achieving our goal for us. But it's worth thinking about who can actually help, who can help me to make sure that by the end of this 3 months, I am over the line with this goal, and how could they help you to do that? So the last thing is a little bit about your personality. So what obstacles do you think may come up that will prevent you from achieving this goal. So the first one which was kind of similar, is what could prevent you, is more like a broad sense. But what about you and your personality could get in the way? So are you likely to get really unmotivated? Are you likely to run into financial problems with it? Is it going to be too expensive perhaps for you? You're going to be too tired after work to go about doing it. So what are some of the personal obstacles that you can just look at and say, all right, these are potential things that are going to get in the way because of who I am and because I know myself and some of my flaws. So it's helpful to write this out. And then what are some strategies we can do to make sure that doesn't happen? So if we're getting too tired after work every day to write that song down, what is something that we can put in place to make sure that we do have a couple of hours to write our song? Or if we're likely to get unmotivated by it, what's something that we can do? What's a podcast we can listen to, or a YouTube video, or some sort of inspiration, or maybe we could talk to a friend or something to make sure that when that motivation starts to get sucked from us, we can put that back in. So just some personal obstacles, and then brainstorm some solutions around those so that if they come up during this 3-month period, you know how to deal with them, and it doesn't stop you from achieving your goal. Hey, so leave me a comment if you do download that PDF, because I just love to get in your corner and I help you over the line with this goal. Maybe I could be that person that helps you achieve that goal in some way. That would be really awesome. Hey, subscribe to the channel, doing weekly videos just to help music artists go to the next level and chase their dreams. So make some music this week, and we'll talk again soon.